Okay, you're live. Yep.
Okay, we're gonna open the Abington-Rockland Joint Waterworks meeting to order. Roll call vote. Bob Corby Jr.,
June Pat Donnelly.
Richard Muncy.
William Laurel.
We also have Crystal Cameron, who is our assistant superintendent, and of course, our superintendent, Joe LaPointe. Okay. First order of business. Review minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
We forgot to say Joanne Hall.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Joanne Hall is also here representing the water department. Thank you. Next, Robert Constantino. High consumption bill.
Do you know if he's coming?
We sent him the link to the Zoom. So I don't see him on there.
There's a Ronald Howard's on the participant list.
Robert Constantino, are you out there?
I can give you a quick summary on
Okay. Yeah, could you?
what it is. 37 Brockton Ave, which is a rental unit owned by Mr. Constantino, who's an Abington resident. We sent them a letter. We went out and got doing our normal reading and realized that there was an enormous amount of water being used there. We sent them a letter. He did respond to the letter and went down to the property and was informed by the resident that the toilet was running in an inappropriate, well, she said the toilet was running a little bit. When he went in, it was running in an inappropriate manner, speaking in, basically it was a clear consumption directly attributed to the isolated incident. I did inform Mr. Constantino that, the water did go through the meter.
Right.
I don't know if the board want to, a payment plan or whatever your pleasure is. He's looking for an abatement on.
I don't foresee giving an abatement.
Yeah, we can't give him a date.
We're just going through this with some residents.
Yeah,
You can't turn the residents down and then let them come property.
Like a lawyer.
I mean, he can do a payment plan, which we've offered to, most everybody, but I think, along with that, I think it needs to be done in a year. Like a payment plan can't carry on for multiple years.
yeah. So
So,
I make a motion that we do not give an abatement. We give him a year to pay off of what is owed.
I'll second that motion.
all in favor? Aye. So moved. All right. Financial report.
The joint budget through the month of April, we've gone through 69.3% of the budget. We're looking pretty good. We don't know what's gonna come down the line with the treatment plants, with the new problems we're having there, but hopefully we can finish as good as we did last year. We're right on about the same amount as we were last year at this time, so doing good.
I make a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, all right. Superintendent's report.
The consumer confidence report for 2020 has been completed, reviewed, and sent to be printed. Crystal did all the work on that, did a great job. That's gonna be returned to us and delivered by July 1st, so by the time they print it and everything, it'll be the middle of June. We met with Steve Olson, For the design for the permanent piping, finished water for the treatment plant. The permanent design's all set. It's completed. We're ready to advertise and go to bid. We'll probably do that sooner than later, and then if the bid's too much, we'll have to wait until after July with the monies we receive from town meeting. Tomorrow, we're gonna be cleaning the sediment basins down the Pembroke plant. Shut the plant down, crawl underneath and clean everything out, get it ready for the summer. We just removed the 2 sludge bags that were down there. We had trucked that to the Bond landfill. Tomorrow, we should be done with that, with filling the last dumpster. They just come out with an American Rescue Plan, and the towns of Rockland and Abington are supposed to receive some infrastructure money. It's a vague explanation of where that infrastructure money is gonna go. I am working with Biz from the accountant in Rockland and Sue from Abington to see if we can get some of that money for the
Yeah, why
PFAS
shouldn't
treatment.
Yeah,
A lot of the money is designated for COVID and schools and COVID relief, but some of it is for infrastructure. It's over a 2-year plan, and it's around $700,000 for each town each year. So I'm working to see if we can get some of that, even if we can get a little bit, it's gonna help us with the Hingham Street thing. The Western and Sampson memorandum I put in your packet, this was the breakdown of what some of the options we got for Hingham Street. If you look at the second page, down almost to the bottom where it says vessel costs, those are the different kinds of vessels. That's how much they cost just to purchase the vessels. The comparative cost includes the vessels and what we think the money we're gonna need to get them up and running. What it doesn't include is engineering costs, and housing. It's gonna be winter pretty soon, we can't keep them outside.
so you're looking at over $1 million.
Over $1 million. So that's just to get up and running right now. If you look at like the 2 12-by-20 vessels, that could get you could run the plant, you'd have to blend the water. The 12-by-40 vessels, you could run the plant at full capacity. Probably one of the best ways to go, but it's gonna be the most expensive with housing because those vessels are so big. So by the time we get housing and everything else, if we're up to close to $2 million, do you turn around and look at what's the feasibility of doing a new plant? We don't know. I mean, we might have to borrow money. You know, it's options that the board can look at.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is not gonna be, a long-term solution.
I think
It's gonna cost you for this plant only, I'm gonna say $3 to $5 million. I know that's a broad ballpark.
That's
but
at Hingham Street?
Hingham Street. And, that plant was built, I think, 1974, and you see the problems we're having now. We have one filter bridge that goes down, you lose the whole plant. You should have redundancy. And at least, you could shut one down, work on it like Pembroke and still run the plant. Something to look at, it's just something I'm throwing out there.
I think we need to consider it. I mean, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for
You know, honestly, because like, to be honest with you, like, why wouldn't we go with the 12-by-40s? Because you might need to run full tilt,
Yeah, this is actually
I
get
agree.
you up above full
Yep.
tilt,
So, I mean,
You could do 1,650 gallons a minute with those vessels.
but when you think about it, a new plant might be the way to go. I mean, everything would be newer technology. That the Hannigan plant is getting, it's getting tired.
Pretty old.
It's our senior plant, right?
You have the land, the land's not gonna be a problem, you're putting it right there.
I mean, it would be a big expense for the water department, but,
Well,
we have to look down the road.
can we do a bond thing? Do we have much out in bonds right now?
And this is all, we'd have to go out and look. You know what I mean? I know this builder just came off bond. You know, there might be, especially with the PFAS stuff now coming down the road with DEP and the state revolving funds at 0% interest. Maybe there's matching funds out there, you know, that,
Something maybe you guys can look into.
Yeah.
ASAP.
And you know what? What's that plant set up for? Two MGD?
you run that by Crystal.
4.
What's that plant set up for now?
4. Well, we don't run at that capacity. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. We honestly can't run at the design capacity because the water quality just won't.
Right.
So, I mean, we usually run at about 1,100 gallons a minute max coming in. So that's under 2 right now.
was it originally designed for 2?
No, it was designed for about 4.
Oh,
So we're running at half capacity just to get the, you know, the water quality we need.
sure. But I mean, you know, a new shiny plant would be, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
And it would be updated,
Kinda
and we
new.
can put in
It's
these
up-
vessels.
it's our future, especially with the PFAS stuff. I mean, we could then equip the plant with the proper filters to handle all of that.
Yeah,
I think
definitely something we should consider.
Absolutely.
Can we, you know, maybe see if a engineering firm, one of the ones that work for us, has done a plant that's, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 MGD or whatever, and just get a ballpark figure, like, well, what are we looking at? Are we looking at 20 million or are we looking at 40 million?
Yep.
You know, just to give us an idea, because, you know, then we can better, you know, approach how we're gonna finance this.
Are there any grants?
I know back when, you know, Dan was here and we were talking about new treatment plants, and this was years ago, we were talking about 50 roughly million. But I mean, it all depends on technology and what you know, what you put into it and the things that, all the bells and whistles and whatnot. So,
Do you know if there's any grants out there we can apply for?
I think like Joe said, that there's probably stuff coming down the line with infrastructure and especially with PFAS and the Biden administration, they're taking a lot of a more in-depth look at everything that everybody's up against in the whole country. So I'm sure that's going to be taken into consideration, and you know, we're looking at all avenues with all of that.
So why did you decide to call tomorrow, tell them what we need?
So, I mean, also you could look into building a twin plant or something
Mhm.
to that, and then, you know, a half a plant basically that you could get up and running and then revamp the old one. I mean, there's options there. But
Different ways. So it's something we should start looking into now.
Yeah, it's the redundancy that Joe talks about is something we desperately need over there, especially with the filtration. The basins, we just have one basin, you know, the redundancy is desperately needed.
And I got the superintendent's report, but I know we're gonna do a PFAS update. You want to grab that, Kristen?
Now,
Yeah, I can go for it. So back in March, you know, we sent out, well, we started adding PAC for removal over at Hingham Street for the PFAS. We sent out the public education that included that information. We had 2 samples that were taken, one in January and one in February, that did not include the PAC addition. And then the March sample that we received did include the PAC addition. So that was taken into consideration for removal. The results for the PAC, I'm sorry, for the PFAS came back in March at 21.81 for the results for the finished water at Hingham Street. So our average, that's how the MCL is, the maximum contaminant level is calculated, is based on a 3-month average. So the before before, when we had just the 2 samples taken into consideration, that was a 23.4 result. And now we're at 22.8 with all 3 the completed quarterly samples. So for the first quarter, unfortunately, it was confirmed that we are above the maximum contaminant level for PFAS. So that takes us to the next step, which is public notice. So we are working on that, and it has been submitted to the Mass DEP for approval. Like we've mentioned before, everything that we do, changes to the treatment plant, improvements, any kind of chemical changes, anything that we do when it comes to this PFAS, or anything usually in general anyways, has to be approved by Mass DEP. So the public notice that I wrote has been sent, and we're just waiting for them to send it back with approval or whatever comments they have to say. So the public notice is going to be a little bit different compared to the education material that we sent out. It's more of a detailed, precise, it's more of an action plan from our department, explaining to the residents what we're doing, what the plan is, and what we're offering to help for alleviation for the, for these sensitive subgroups. So just to kind of take a step back real quick, what we did in order for right now in the interim, while we're waiting for the filter vessels that that Joe was speaking about earlier, we have moved, we actually set up a permit with the Mass DEP, and we got that approved on Monday to move the pack addition. So the way that you add this pack over at Hingham Street is it actually can, the point of application can make all the difference in the world. So where we were adding it at Hingham Street in the flash mixer, which is where all of our chemicals get mixed together, it's been actually investigated and told to us that if we add it in a different spot at that treatment plant, it can have better results. So we're moving on that as fast as possible, and we plan to implement that ASAP. So we're, like Joe said, also investigating filter options and media options for that in the meantime, but we didn't just want to wait for those filters and the media to get here. So that's why we're doing the PAC application. We want it to be the filter investigation. It's going to be the most cost effective and the most effective option that we can apply to the treatment over there. So in the meantime, the public notice we have to wait for the approval, but that will be sent out, and we have detailed in that public notice that we will be offering another source of water as an option to residents that are in sensitive subgroups. We don't have the details on that yet, and we also have to wait for approval from the Mass DEP, so can't really give too much detail on that right now. But it will be more of a portable water storage option where people can take containers and fill them up if they are in a sensitive subgroup. We will have more details for that once we have them all ironed out. But they will be from, what our idea is that they will be from our 2 other sources, our 2 other treatment plants that have low PFAS results. So Great Sandy Bottom or Myers Ave. Their Myers Ave is below 10, and Great Sandy Bottom, our last result was 2.91. So we will be offering that water. So that is the update that I have right now.
So Crystal,
Mm-hmm.
you still can drink the water, correct?
What was that?
You still can drink the water.
Yeah, Mass it is the understanding, my understanding that it's the state's position that if you are in a sensitive subgroup, so if you have a compromised immune system, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you are making formula for an infant using the water, they say that you should use bottled water. And that bottled water should be or PFAS. So other than that, it's the state's position that if you do not fall in a sensitive subgroup, that it poses less risk to drink the water. because this is more of a bioaccumulation in your body over time. It's not like it's not an immediate event where it could make you sick right now, when we would have to notify the public within 24 hours and say, don't drink the water, it's going to make you sick. It's not that type of a situation. It's more of a bioaccumulation in your body over 75, 80 years, that if you're drinking it at very high levels, which we don't have, it could cause a problem, or possibly cause an issue. That's not the situation for us right now, but that's the stance that the state is taking.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on, the addition at the head wall of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
What's it go in a slurry out there?
Yes.
So would we have to bury the line?
We already installed the line.
Oh, you
So
did?
we had divers come and they pulled the line out there for us, and it's fixed to the head wall.
Side of the plant.
Right, but how does it get into the building where you add the,
We're moving the pack outside into the shed we just installed.
oh, okay. All right.
Awesome. Good
So
job.
the idea is the longer the pack has in what we call contact time, Chip, you know that, but the contact time with just the pack and the water, that's where the magic's supposed to happen, if you want to call it that. That's where you're supposed to separate pack in the water with other chemicals. It's the best way you can get it to react and get the removal that we're looking for. So the only way with, like Joe said, the 1974 plant that we have, that was the only place that we could do it. And so we did it. We had divers come in and they pulled the line for us. And, that's how we're going to hopefully achieve the removal that we need.
So, and then the first, from the first samples we had till now, well, not till now, to the March samples, we had dropped it 20%. Once we started adding the pack. The April sample came back in. They said the limit's 20, we came in at 20.4.
Oh,
We started at 25.
Yeah.
so it's
We're
going
getting there.
down.
So
We're
hopefully
getting there.
the contact time, putting it out into the intake, hopefully that'll drop us way down.
So once that happens, then we don't have to worry about all this crap.
Well, it's a short-term fix, but yeah,
Yeah.
correct. As long as we're 20, but we have to do that over a 3-month average, so. We're all right. We had a couple high readings. It's gonna take us a couple low readings, or some consistently be below 20.
Well, you're working on it, doing a good job.
Yeah.
Right. And it's good to see samples come in below the 20. I think it makes everybody feel better to see the samples come in below the 20. Unfortunately, the average, like Joe said, is going to take a little while to get down, but I think it makes everybody feel better to know that we're getting samples below 20. So we're right there. 0.4. It was kind of a tease, but we're almost there.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yep.
Okay. So we're done with.
Motion to approve the superintendent's report.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Public forum. Anyone for public forum?
Hello.
Hi.
Can I ask a question? Has there been any health study done in Massachusetts on the PFAS?
That would be DEP's department, and I could not tell you, there's none that I know of that has been done.
Right, there's none that I know of, and I deal with DEP, so.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even been done at the federal level. Like we said, the federal level is still 70 parts per trillion, and we're down to 20.4. So it's the state of Massachusetts limit, so we're still way under the federal, and we're trying to get under the mass right now. But as far as health studies, I don't think anybody's done them.
Yeah, I know that Pease Air Force Base, the former Pease, I don't know what they call it now in Portsmouth, but they had extremely large numbers of chemicals found in the bloodstream of the kids up there, but they were drinking the water on the wells, and I guess they shut down the wells, but I don't know of any health studies that's been done on this.
Yeah. Well,
those wells,
those
oh,
were
sorry.
over 2,000 parts per
yeah.
trillion.
Right.
That was just out of the ballpark, you know.
Mary, I do know about a study that was done in Connecticut with their health department, I believe, but I know it was out of Connecticut. And that was more, and this is included in the new public notice that everybody's going to get, that's going to receive, because I had a lot of questions about showering, you know, brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
So I made sure to include that in the public notice, as long as DEP doesn't take it out while we're waiting for the approval. But I did find that there was a study done in Connecticut about, you know, the bathing and the showering, and they said anything over 210 parts per trillion, which we're not even close. So that's where their concern starts to get heightened when it comes to showering, brushing your teeth, stuff like that. So that was one study that I was able to find.
Right, and the other issue is it's in just about everything. If you cook with non-stick cookware, and a lot of bakeware is non-stick, you're
Yep.
getting it from there. You're getting it from anything like water repellent, raincoats, saran wrap,
Right.
any kind of sandwich wrap like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's in a lot of stuff.
It was suggested to us that if you buy, you know, it was mentioned that if you buy Teflon pans that are, you know, say
Right.
you go out tomorrow, you should look and make sure they were manufactured in the United States, because it's been stopped in the United States, as I guess, as best as they can, but it's still being imported in by other countries. So that aren't yet regulated by this. So you should, if you buy pans that are Teflon nonstick, you should make sure they were manufactured in the United States. It's just, it's things that none of us really thought about, you know, carpet, makeup. It was in every,
Right.
in like our, you know, laundry detergent and car wash soaps and all that. So this is how it found its way into the groundwater. And, you know, it's the one thing that we can control is the groundwater, or is the water that we give to the public. We're going to do that. We just need a little bit more time to correct the issue. So that's our plan. We're going to do
Right,
it.
I've heard the opposite. That I heard several years ago that Europe banned these chemicals, and we're the ones that haven't banned them because they're in firefighting foam.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Europe. It might be other countries that are still.
Yeah, there's other ones that it wouldn't be banned in, yes.
Right.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public forum? Okay. Commissioners forum.
I have nothing.
I have nothing.
Me neither, I spoke my piece.
Make a motion to adjourn at 4 o'clock.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We need a roll call.
Okay, I'm gonna open the Rockland Water Department meeting at 4 o'clock. We have the same people here that were for the other meeting too. So we have review of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written. I'll second it.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Financial report.
Financial report, the budget for Rockland, just about the same as the joint, 69.6% through the month of April. Looking good, hopefully. I mean, the only thing that really jumped this year on the budget is 10,000 police details, over 17,000 for police details. Yeah, so a little bit over on that line item, but we're making it up. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that. I didn't put it in next year. I didn't up it for next year's budget. We're trying to keep a level funded budget, so hopefully we can maintain anyways. We just we won't buy the office stuff. We won't buy pencils and pens.
Motion to accept the financial report as presented to us.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Public forum from Rockland, do we have anybody? I hear nobody. So how about commissioners forum?
I have nothing. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? That's
Aye.
unanimous. Thank you.
If you want to announce it, we don't have to call.
Yeah, Mike Egan, are you here?
No.
Unfortunately, we don't have a quorum for the Abington meeting, so there will not be one held.
Somebody at the door, is that Bob Constantino? Is that him?
Okay.
Okay, then we're done.
We're all set, you know. Joe, I just need you to sign the minutes for the meeting.